Greetings, everyone. Today, our group will present to you the parable of talents and discuss further the meaning of its story. We will also be presenting to you our reflections in the end of the discussion. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. As shown in the video, the parable tells the story of a man who gave talents to his three servants. To one he gave 5 talents, 2 talents to the other, and 1 talent to the last. He who received 5 talents traded with what he had and received 5 talents more. The same was done by the servant who had 2 talents. However, the servant with 1 talent hid what his master gave to him. Upon his return, the master was glad to see the servants who earned more by using their talents wisely. "Well done, good and faithful servant," he says to them both. However, the master was angered upon knowing that the other servant did nothing with his talent, and so he cast him out of his sight.
The master of the servants, represented in the parable of the talents in Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 to 30, represents God himself, and the servant represents his people. This includes you, me, and other followers of God. God the Master entrusted us with different talents. This can be used differently depending on the individual, but it has one similar purpose. Just like the servants, each one of us was given various talents, abilities, and opportunities.
With those gifts, He expects us to use them wisely to please and serve Him in accordance with His will. He gave us talents based on our abilities, just like how one servant received 5 and some received 2 or even 1.
These talents can be used not only to enrich oneself, but also to enrich the lives of others as well. We must use it to further serve Him and His people.
Talents, through diligence, can be used to further create prosperity. It's only up to us to decide whether or not we act and turn these talents into bountiful wealth. It's important to note that, like the 2 servants, we are trying to please God by using our talents wisely. Take note of the Master's words from Matthew 25, verse 21. "Well done, good and faithful servant."
The lazy servant did nothing with his master's money and buried it in the ground. Matthew 25, verse 24 to 25. He instead wasted his time, his opportunities, and his master's gift. Those who are not faithful stewards are cast out for their laziness, affected the lives they could have saved. God wishes for us to use the talents He gave to us, but there are those who don't use them for the benefit of others, and this does not please the Lord. This path is one that we must avoid, or else we become wicked and slothful.
God gave us talents and responsibilities just so we could enrich and multiply them. If we do well with what God has given, no matter how much it is, whether big or small, He will help us do well and multiply our efforts. And if we are faithful, not giving up and working hard for the job God has entrusted, whatever the responsibility is, then He will give us more and trust us as His disciples. For those who use well with what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have abundance. But for those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken from them.
Today, many people also tend to use their gifts wrongly, or even downright just not using them at all. Little do we know that our talents given to us by God can make a difference when used wisely. We always tend to say that things are bad or that we never get to experience the good anymore. Well, after reading this parable, we now have our answer. Of course, things aren't becoming better. It's because we ourselves aren't making it better. In life, we must think about where our gifts come from and how we can show our gratitude to our Master for providing us with something so precious and so influential to the world.
Like the servants, each one of us has also our own God-given talents. There are times that we would wish to be someone who is more capable of doing the things that we can do. We would sometimes feel jealous to other people without thinking that we're all unique and we're given talents depending on our own abilities as a person. We should learn to be contented with what we have, and we must value it and make sure to use it in a good way. It was also given to us for us to share it to other people and to use it to spread the word of God and to reach those who doesn't know Him. By doing so, the gift of talent given to us by God will be worth it since we used it through His will and glory. We must also use it as our gratitude for Him for giving us such talent.
Jesus is not just talking about our talents or abilities in this parable. The talents here are our faith and the good deeds we do through faith. Here, good deeds are not merely our work but what we do for God, ourselves, other people, and also for God's creation. Knowing Jesus Christ does very little for us unless we invest in that knowledge. For money or talents to increase, it has to be spent. It requires sacrifice and an act of service. If we hide our money or talents, it will be no use for us or to anyone. Christ has given everyone talent. He has provided us the means to come back and live with Him in heaven. We truly need to be His servants and not simply profess to be His servants. We need to invest in that talent He has given us by working with them and sharing it with others. This is how we become true followers and servants of Christ. We serve God, we keep His commandments. This is whom we say at the last day. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over few things. I will make ruler over many.